This is Chris Medeiros. Like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Medeiros, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. I'll be down there in the description box, and I'm here to do my AEW Dynamite June 7th, 2023 reviews. So here we go, discussing about tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. Now we kick off the show with a title match. It was the AEW International Champion, Orange Cassidy, versus Swerve Strickland in a one-on-one match for the AEW International Championship. Now, Swerve did come out with the Embassy, Brian Cage, Prince Nana, and all of them, but they all decided to go to the back, so Swerve Strickland had to do this match all by himself. And you know what? This match, it was a pretty good match. Now, I like their match from a few weeks ago, but this one, it was a pretty good one as well. It was going back and forth between Orange Cassidy and Swerve Strickland, and it looked like Swerve almost won at one point where he kicked Cassidy in the knee, which dropped Cassidy down to both of his knees, and then that's when Swerve hits that kick to the back of the head onto Orange Cassidy. He climbs up the top turnbuckle and jumps off with that double foot stomp onto Orange Cassidy. He pins him 1-2, Cassidy barely kicking out at 2. He lifts up Cassidy again, but then Cassidy starts fighting back and everything, and then Swerve rolls him up for a pin, grabbing the tights. 1-2, Cassidy barely rolling back through. So then Cassidy rolls up, Swerve grabbing the tights as well, with the referee not paying attention to him doing that, and he got the 1-2-3. So yeah, Orange Cassidy defeated Swerve Strickland tonight, and he has retained the AEW International Championship. That's what happened. But then, after the match ended, we see the Embassy coming into the ring, just attacking Orange Cassidy, beating him down and everything, laying him out. But then, all of a sudden, the lights go out, and then they come back on, and then we see Sting and Darby Allin standing in the middle of the ring, saving Orange Cassidy, and then we see the Embassy outside the ring, looking at Sting and Darby Allin. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good segment right there after the match. But yep, for that match, I'll give it 3 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good match between Orange Cassidy and Swerve Strickland. I think their last match is a little bit better in my opinion, but this one was still pretty good. But yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff though. But then after that, we see an awesome video package of Bryan Danielson calling out Kazuchika Okada for Forbidden Door. So yeah, that was a pretty cool one. And yeah, Bryan Danielson did come out there, and he's going to be on commentary, because up next we're going to be seeing the Blackpool Combat Club versus Chaos in a 6-man tag team match up next on Dynamite. So yeah, that match will be up next. But yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on AEW Dynamite. See you guys later. Until then. So the next thing to happen on AEW Dynamite, it was a 6-man tag team match. It was Jon Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, and the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Claudio Castagnoli, the Blackpool Combat Club, versus Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Rocky Romero, Chaos, in a 6-man tag team match. Now, Bryan Danielson was on commentary for this match. Chaos already made their way out there to the ring. The Blackpool Combat Club was coming through the crowd, and as soon as Jon Moxley jumped over the barricade, he got a steel chair thrown right at his face by Chuck Taylor. So yeah, Chaos just starting off this match, just attacking the Blackpool Combat Club before the match even starts and everything. And then at one point, like right when the match starts, we see Chuck Taylor hit a nice power driver onto Wheeler Yuta up until the pin got broken up at the count of 2 and everything. So yeah. But then we start getting to the end of the match where we see Trent Beretta taking control of this match. He lifts up Jon Moxley for a strong 0, I think it was, and he got him in a position when Chuck Taylor jumps off the top turnbuckle with a double foot stomp on Jon Moxley, with Trent Beretta hitting his finisher move onto him. They pin him 1-2. The pin gets broken up at the count of 2 by Claudio, and then we see Claudio get thrown over the top rope and stuff, and then Rocky Romero gets tagged in, and Rocky was trying to hit these sliced bread onto Jon Moxley, but Jon Moxley pushed him over. Rocky pushes him into the corner and then locks on a cross arm breaker onto Jon Moxley, and then Moxley fights out of that, locking on the Bulldog headlock onto Rocky Romero, trying to make him tap out. We see Trent Beretta jump off the second turnbuckle with a moonsault, trying to hit it onto Claudio, but when he jumped off of the moonsault, he gets caught with a European uppercut by Claudio outside the ring, which was pretty nice. Chuck Taylor tried to run into the ring, try to break up the submission, but he gets hit with a psycho knee by Wheeler Yuta, and then Wheeler Yuta's just laying in some elbows onto Chuck Taylor, and Jon Moxley swapped up the Bulldog face lock into the sleeper hold onto Rocky Romero, making him tap out. So yeah, the Blackpool Combat Club defeated Chaos tonight in a 6-man tag team match, and Wheeler Yuta just kept on going at it with his elbows for a long time. But yeah, for that match, I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a pretty good match, but yeah, that's what happened there. And yeah, Bryan Danielson was on commentary and everything, but then we see Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks backstage, and yeah, they challenged the Blackpool Combat Club in a match for next week's Dynamite. And they're saying, can y'all do it alone without Bryan Danielson or Takeshita? So yeah, that's where they threw out the challenge, and Bryan Danielson was on commentary, and he says that they accept the challenge. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening. But up next, we're going to be seeing the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, MJF, up next on Dynamite, and still to come later on tonight in the main event, it will be Jay White versus Ricky Starks one-on-one later on tonight on Dynamite in the main event. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on AEW Dynamite. See you guys later. Until then. So the next thing to happen on AEW Dynamite after the 6-man tag team match, they showed a nice video package of Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, because they were going to be having a match at Forbidden Door for the IWGP United States Championship. So yeah, that's what they showed. But then we get to this next segment of the night. We see the AEW World Heavyweight Champion MJF. He makes his way out there to the ring and stuff, and obviously he starts talking crap to the crowd, talking about how Colorado sucks and all that stuff. So he's just hating on Colorado a lot. But then he gets interrupted by Adam Cole. So yeah, Adam Cole comes out and he gets into the ring. You know, he's about to do the boom, but then all of a sudden MJF stops him dead in his tracks, get him to stop the playing the theme song and all that stuff. And yeah, he just interrupted him. But then MJF starts talking about how much he's respected Adam Cole and everything that Adam Cole did, going to CZW, winning a lot of championships, being the top in the indies and all that stuff, and that, you know, him going down to Florida and all that stuff for another company, being Shawn Michaels' #1 top guy, right-hand man, and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what MJF was talking about, you know, mentioning Shawn Michaels and stuff. But then he starts talking about how one day he turned on his TV to see, and he's seen Ring of Honor and all that stuff, and then he sees a guy with jet black hair and all that stuff coming out there, and then all of a sudden he was talking a lot of more crap to Adam Cole after he was talking about how he respected him and all that stuff, you know, going to NXT pretty much, talking about how he was undisputed down there, winning the top title back down there and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what MJF was talking about. And then he starts talking a lot of crap about Adam Cole and stuff, talking about his body and Britt Baker and all that stuff, talking about how he thought Vince McMahon was, you know, lost his marbles and stuff, and talking about Adam Cole's body and all that stuff. But then he says now that he's looking right at Adam Cole's face, he knows exactly what Vince McMahon was talking about. He said Vince was right. So yeah, that's what MJF was talking about. But then we see Adam Cole talking to MJF, talking about, is that all you got and all that stuff? You want to talk about people's relationships and everything? I bet Britt Baker could kick your ass and all that stuff. But then he says first it was Bryan Danielson, now it's me. That you want to talk about people's relationships? Let's talk about yours. That's why your fiance left you and all that stuff, because you're a douchebag. And everybody started chatting douchebag and all that stuff. But MJF, you know, he starts getting a little bit mad and stuff, talking about, you know, it's coming from somebody that's supposed to be Keith Lee's manager and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what MJF said. And, you know, Adam Cole was talking a lot more crap to MJF, talking about, you talking about my body now, let's go ahead and talk about your body and stuff. He said, you know, that with this body and all that stuff, I won a bunch of world titles and everything. And he says that we could go backstage, take a piss test, and see whose body's natural and whose ain't. So yeah, that's what Adam Cole said. And, you know, Adam Cole's just getting to MJF, pissing MJF off, and then he says, all right, I guess I'm done here. And then he turns his back, and then MJF gets mad. He says, don't turn your back on me. He said, you know what, we're going to do that match. And then Adam Cole's like, okay, cool. Looks like we got a match. But yep, that's what happened there. Pretty good segment though. Go check it out if you have. Yeah, it was a really good segment between MJF and Adam Cole. But yeah, definitely go check that one out. Can't do it justice by talking about it. But yeah, that's what happened there. And then after that, we see Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, and Isaiah Cassidy talking backstage. Matt Hardy was talking about how he won Ethan Page's contract and all that stuff. Ethan Page comes out back there and stuff like that. So he works for the Hardys and everything. And yeah, they're just doing the contract thing. And, he says that he don't want to make Ethan Page's life a living hell like how Ethan Page did to him. He said he wants to make Ethan Page a better person. And he tells Ethan Page to apologize to Isaiah Cassidy and shake his hand and all that stuff. And they shook hands, and then Isaiah just moaned in his ear. So yeah, that's what happened there. But up next, we're going to be seeing a Texas Tornado tag team match up next on Dynamite. So yeah, that match will be up next. And still to come later on tonight in the main event, it will be Absolute Ricky Starks versus Jay White. 1-on-1, still to come later on tonight in the main event. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on AEW Dynamite. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on AEW Dynamite, it was a Texas Tornado tag team match. So yeah, it was the FTW champion Hook teaming up with Jungle Boy versus Preston Vance and Jalistico in a no disqualification Texas Tornado tag team match. So yeah, that's what this match is all about. And this match, it was a pretty good one. Hook and Jungle Boy was making their entrance up until they got attacked from behind by Preston Vance and Jalistico. And then, like I said, it was no disqualification. So they used a bunch of weapons, still chairs. They used like a jumper cable at one point, and they had tables and all that stuff. At one point, we see Hook bringing in a chain. He jumped off the barricade, punching Preston upside the head, busting him wide open and stuff. But then Jalistico comes up, and he got his mask halfway torn apart and everything, getting suplexed outside the ring and everything. Preston, he's about to put Hook through a table up until Jungle Boy comes up, hitting him upside the head with a steel chair. And then that's when Hook grabs him and hits a T-bone suplex onto Preston through the table, laying him out. And then we see Jungle Boy hits a DDT onto Jalistico onto a steel chair. He pins him. 1, 2. Jose breaks up the pin instead, but then Hook comes in there locking on the submission hold, the transmission onto him, that chokehold onto Jose, making him pass out, and then Jungle Boy, locks on the snare trap onto Jalistico, making him tap out. So yeah, Jungle Boy and Hook defeated Preston Vance and Jalistico tonight in a Texas Tornado tag team match. That's what happened. It was a pretty good match. For that match, I'll give it 2.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a good one. The no disqualification rules and everything. Preston Vance was busted open in this match and all that stuff. So yeah, it was still a pretty good one. But yeah, that's what happened there. But then after that, we see Tony Khan backstage, and he got a special announcement that the main event for the for AEW Collision, which airs June 17th, the first show, it will be the AEW World Tag Team Champions FTR and CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, Jay White, and Juice Robinson in a 6-man tag team match in the main event of Collision. So yeah, that'll be the main event for the first ever episode of AEW Collision on June 17th. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then, up next we're going to be seeing Konosuke Takeshita up next in a 1-on-1 match. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing happens on AEW Dynamite. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on AEW Dynamite, it was a 1-on-1 match. It was Konosuke Takeshita versus a local competitor, 1-on-1 on AEW Dynamite. Now Don Callis comes out with Konosuke for this match. And yeah, Konosuke comes out with no theme song in there, and they keep on showing like a replay on the screen throughout the whole entire match of Don Callis choking out Kenny Omega and Konosuke attacking them and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what they were showing the whole time. And Konosuke obviously was taking control of this match, beating down the guy, hitting an elbow to the back of the head onto the guy, and then hits that running knee to the face while the guy was on his knees, and he pins him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Konosuke Takeshita defeated the local competitor tonight on AEW Dynamite. That's what happened. For that match, I'll just give it 1 star. That's why I would give it, but it was just showing the dominance of Konosuke right there. But yeah, after that, Don Callis gets into the ring. He grabs a mic and he starts talking. And while he was trying to talk, the crowd was just booing the hell out of them. Wouldn't let them talk or anything, just catch all that heat. And then Don Callis say it's enough. And then Konosuke starts talking Japanese and we can't understand him. And he says that we are going to get rid of Kenny Omega out of our lives and get rid of the Elite. So yeah, that's what Don Callis said and Konosuke Takeshita. But yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff though. But yeah, still to come later on tonight in the main event, it will be Ricky Starks versus Jay White one-on-one later on tonight. And apparently Anna Jay will be in the matchup next on Dynamite. So yeah, see you guys later until the next thing that happens on AEW Dynamite. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on AEW Dynamite, it was a one-on-one match for the TBS Women'S Championship. But before we talk about that match, we see one of the interviewers go up to knock on Christian Cage's door. He comes out there and he says that Arn Anderson costed him his TNT title match at Double or Nothing. And he says he costed Arn Anderson something. And then he opens up the door, Luchasaurus walks out, and then we see Brock Anderson laid out on the ground in the locker room. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then we get to the next match. It was a TBS Women's Champion, Chris Statlander versus Anna Jay one-on-one for the TBS Women's Championship. Matt Menard was at ringside with Anna Jay. We see Taya Valkyrie watching this match from backstage. We see Chris Statlander taking control of this match, hitting that lariat backbreaker onto Anna Jay, and then she lifts her up, hitting that tombstone power driver onto her, pinning her for the 3 count. So yeah, Chris Statlander defeated Anna Jay, and yeah, she has retained the TBS Women's Championship. That's what happened. It was an okay match for that match. I'll give it 2.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. But then after that, we see the AEW Women's Champion, Toni Storm, with Ruby Soho backstage, and Toni Storm was talking about that Fatal 4-Way match that's going to be happening on Rampage, like Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, Sky Blue, and I forgot who the 4th person was, but it's a number 1 contenders match, and winner of that match will be facing Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship next Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. And she said that she don't care who wins because she's going to beat them, and she's going to be the greatest ever AEW Women's Champion of all time. But yep, that's what happened there. And up next, it will be the main event. It will be Ricky Starks versus Jay White one-on-one up next. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on AEW Dynamite was a one-on-one match. It was Ricky Starks versus Jay White one-on-one. Now Ricky Starks makes his entrance. Jay White was walking down to the ring, but then Ricky Starks sees out of the ring and starts attacking Jay White outside of the ring, just going at it with him. Throws him into the ring. The match finally starts and everything. This match was going back and forth between these two guys, and Ricky Starks at one point hits a nice tornado DDT onto Jay White. He pins him 1, 2, Jay White barely kicking out at 2. Ricky Starks and Jay White is going at it back and forth, and Jay White starts taking control of this match at the ending, and then Ricky Starks fight out of whatever Jay White was trying to do. Ricky Starks runs to the ropes and hits that nice spear onto Jay White. I love his spears. He hits that nice one onto him. He grabs Jay White. He lifts him up for Rochambeau, and then he hits Rochambeau onto him. But when he lifted up Jay White, he was throwing him back down. The referee was in the way somehow and got hit with Jay White's leg. So Ricky Starks goes for the pin onto Jay White after Rochambeau, but obviously the referee's down, so yeah, he was knocked out for this match. Now, Juice Robinson is banned from ringside for this match, by the way, which I forgot to mention. So yeah, he was not at ringside for this match. But then we see Austin and Colton, the Guns, right there, getting into the ring, attacking Ricky Starks, hitting her tag team finish move, that lift up flatliner onto Ricky Starks. And then Jay White gets back up. He grabs Ricky Starks and hits the Blade Runner onto him, pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Jay White defeated Ricky Starks tonight in a one-on-one match on AEW Dynamite in the main event. And then after the match ended, we see Juice Robinson coming down there celebrating with Jay White. So yeah, for that match between those two guys, it was a good one. I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a good one. But I don't know how the referee still gets knocked out by Rochambeau somehow. It was kind of stupid right there, but whatever. For match of the night, I gotta say it was that 6-man tag team match with Chaos versus the Blackpool Combat Club. That match was really good. But yeah, for tonight's AEW Dynamite, I'll give it 7 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was an okay show, but nothing really special. I like this segment between MJF and Adam Cole. That one was really good. But yeah, other than that, that was it. But yeah, that's been my AEW Dynamite reviews. Like, subscribe to CNW Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris. And subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos, or follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. I'll be down there in the description box. And I'll see you guys later for this Friday night SmackDown reviews. See you guys later. Until then.